Here we are. What's up, Tim?
Oh, we're live. Look at that. No countdown. It's kind of rough. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tactical Trades here. Tuesday Tactical Trades. And you guys are hearing some energy from me, despite the fact that I am exhausted. So don't know if I'm able to keep this up the whole stream. We shall see. We're going to go about 45 minutes tonight. But we got some live trades to look at. This is a hard show to do, I will say. Day before Fed Day, T-Shroom, classic. You don't want to trade on Fed Day. So anything we talk about here, first of all, is not financial advice. It's simply for educational purposes only. But should you be entering any trades tonight, I do want to caution you, you probably want to get in and out before the chaos starts tomorrow. I don't even know what time. Let's say like around noonish Eastern Standard Time, the markets can get a little weirdish as you prepare for what we think the Fed's actually going to do. It can get pretty volatile. Good classic non-financial advice. Trading Fed Day is it's a risky thing, but sometimes, bigger the risk, bigger the reward. Let's see what we got going on tonight. You guys know here on Tactical Trades, we first of all are doing this in the honor of Piper until he is back with his regular 5 days a week. But T-Shroom and I do Tuesdays now. We'll be doing any TA you guys want us to look at. Do keep in mind, we're going to be looking at we're going to still look at daily charts for the sake of just seeing where trends are going. But in reality, the way we're doing these trades, we're not really looking for any price action much older than 48 to 72 hours. Anything over that, you're really looking at a longer tail trade. We're going for shorter ones. So when you guys hear us talk, it does not reflect our long-term or even maybe next couple of weeks of our predictions for crypto. It reflects our predictions for what we think the next 48 to 72 hours could look like. So we're going to get some suggestions here in chat from our members. That is the people right there with either a green or blue name that has also a badge right next to them. Man, I cannot wait, T-Shroom, until we get to see some of these badges turn yellow here in about another week, 2 weeks or so?
It is going to be nice.
I think it's maybe it's 2 weeks. When do we start the memberships?
I'm not sure.
Maybe 2 weeks. We might just be in 2 weeks in. Time can fly. But let's get some TA recommendations here, guys. We got 9 people in. I know we're gonna get some more trickling in as we are going. Maddie123 says, see Tim more than I see the misses. That's not good, Maddie. Yes, not good, Maddie.
Yeah, that's
you need
not
to see
good.
the misses. Says Tim is the hardest working man in crypto. Thank you very much, Maddie. I don't know. I've definitely seen some people. I work very hard, but sometimes I'm working behind the scenes on stuff, not necessarily on the crypto stuff. But I do take the compliment. Thank you very much, Maddie. It is part of my sickness. I think I am one of those people that's a bigger threat of becoming a workaholic than burning out. So definitely got to keep my balance going so I don't become that workaholic.
Yeah, I do have a quote of the day, quote of the evening.
We're going to do another quote of the evening?
Quote of the evening here is actually coming from number 47.
Donald Trump.
That's right. He said, and this is about the Federal Reserve. He said, they're keeping the rates down so that everything else doesn't go down.
So if they're keeping the rates up, is that so everything else doesn't go up?
That's what they're doing now. Because this quote is from Trump's administration, which they were keeping the rates down. Now they're doing the opposite so that everything does not go up. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's how inflation works. Yeah. Trump understands. Hey, if Trump gets it, I think everybody can get it.
Let's see here. Jay says you are on my phone, Frankie Candles, on the computer. What? Oh, Frankie's live right now. Shout out to Frankie.
Oh, nice.
But Tuesday nights for the bros, Frankie. I'm still showing support, though, with the hat. It does look like Bedridden wants to do some Doge TA. It was the day of the Doge here in the last little bit. Let's go over and take a look at what Doge is doing tonight. T-Shroom, go ahead and enter into my screen. Now, I guess recently I deleted everything I ever had drawn about Doge, so you guys are going to get to see a very clean chart. Okay, I'm getting my mouse. One of the little stickers came off and it was restricting my movement. So I apologize profusely. Dogecoin has flattened out ever since back here hitting the low June of 2022. Yes, we had a very nice and explosive November of 2022, but other than that, kind of a boring price action. But of course, it has been spiking with the recent Twitter change. I'm going to go back here. There definitely looks like a falling level of support right around here. Let's pull that over. I'm even though we have this nice spike right here, I'm kind of seeing more of a trend with a little bit of a fake out right about here. Remember, when we're doing lines, guys, we're kind of more looking at zones. So you probably could even clone this thing. Like you could probably even, let's see, maybe a different tool. One of my tools right here. Yes. We probably could do something a little bit more along the lines of this. Nice. And then extend it up. And again, I more see that as an outlier. So you are seeing, if this was the case, one way or the other, we are seeing Doge get overextended. I'm going to go and just leave it as the red line, though. For simplicity's sake, Doge came up wicked today on the daily candle. Now, again, guys, daily candles we're looking at like next week. I just want to see this to see what are we trending in. And you guys can see, looking at the daily chart, despite the fact that we are up, I'm looking at this trend that has been setting lower lows and lower highs with the exception of this outlier. So this is technically, until broken, I would say let's see Dogecoin get above 9.5 cents and close some candles up there, and then we probably can say that just on my watch. Oh, okay, it's a little skinny. I see what you're saying. Don't do anything, T-Shroom. Don't do anything.
I already fixed it.
No, you didn't fix it. Now I fixed it, and now it's all good. There we go. Piper. Way to keep the production going even when you're just watching. Here we go. All right, so we're coming up here towards resistance here. I need to see above 9.5 cents before I would say that we're on a daily bullish trend here. So daily trend, bearish. Let's take a look even what we're seeing with oscillators here. Not necessarily getting the flashes of oversold. That's a positive sign, guys, for the next couple of weeks here. Of course, we are high, though. So definitely not a long-term entering any new longs for Bitcoin. What I want to see is a breakout above and then maybe even a back test of this resistance level right here. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart, see what we are looking at. 4-hour getting overextended. Here is where we are seeing these overbought flashes coming in. So I can tell you right now, 4-hour chart, we are overextended. Now, the 4-hour chart, that gives us a great picture of the next 48, 72 hours. So right here, I do think if you're wanting to enter a trade and then hold for 48, 72 hours, my money's going to have to probably be on a short would be the better option. Let's take a look at our other indicators here. You guys can see we've been using dynamic reactor and trend assistant on the 4-hour chart for support. That's a positive sign. Let's look at multi-time frame. I do want to come down. Let's see. I'm kind of in extended mode. I like this extended mode, although it's only giving me one color. Don't like that. Why is it only? Oh, it's just because you got to stretch out really far to get a 4-hour or daily. Let's go ahead, guys. Let's edit this down. Let's come down and do some local mode. It's going to give me a little bit better signals here for the next couple of days. Looking at 4-hour, 12-hour, and we are looking at the daily here. Now, we're currently hovering. We broke through the last level of resistance here, about 7.9 cents. But with this resistance looming right above us, the next one sitting above us at 9 cents, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Potentially, we're looking for a retracement back down here towards 7 cents. Let's go get a closer look at what the rest of this evening and tomorrow could look like. Looking at the hourly chart, we already saw our support and resistance. What is our market oracle telling us before we look at oscillators? Yep, still using dynamic reactor and our trend assistant for support. Let's take a look at our oscillators here, guys. There's the pudding right there. Both hour and 4-hour are confirming overbought. We're overextended. RSI getting all the way up here towards 90. We do not have bearish divergence, so that's one positive sign. But you guys can see we've had several divergences and bearish flashes here on the chart prime oscillator. This more than likely is implying that Dogecoin, I know Piper said he was in a great trade. Interesting to hear. Piper in chat, are you thinking to get out, stay in? What I'm seeing here on the hourly, 4-hourly, if you're thinking to continue to hold maybe for the next couple weeks, yeah, maybe you got a chance here. Not necessarily predicting that if we reject on this red line, we're coming back down, setting a new low. But I am saying it is looking like when you zoom in on the 4-hour, 1-hour, we are getting close to rejection. Makes a lot of sense coming in with that little spot. Last thing I want to do before we move on from Doge, though, let's take a look at our Fibonacci levels. I am going to go all the way up to this peak and then down to the bottom to get a good picture of where we are sitting Fibonacci wise. We are above here, back around see, I want to mess with this though. Let's see if I were to come down here. Yeah, we're kind of in a no man's land. I do think there's maybe a small chance we do make a peak up there. I just don't think that that's going to happen. I think this is more one of those that even though we broke through the 0.5 we're going to reject and come back down, maybe using that as support on a smaller time frame if we do fall to the downside again, which is what I'm kind of seeing on that 4-hour and 1-hour chart. Some interesting levels to watch for some retracements is right here at about 7.6 cents, pretty close to that level we were talking about with multi-time frame. That's the 0.236, still very bullish if we only retrace there. Then you also see a little bit of a flow here coming, maybe a pullback down to 0.382 could be another interesting spot there at 7.2 cents. For now, I don't know if I would go much lower than that. I told you guys tomorrow is volatility day, so I'm probably looking maybe at best entering a trade, a short to the downside and taking profit quickly. Let me actually pull that Fibonacci back up. I'm going to say I'm kind of feeling like that 0.236 is an interesting safe zone here. Let me go ahead and enter my short position. Let's just say I were to enter right here this second because we are seeing all those flashes. I'm not really risking that big of a take profit, only going for a 5.8%, meaning if I really want significant gains there, I do have to use leverage. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and just go a straight up risk. I'm going to risk the same amount that I'm going to gain. So we're going to go drop down here to about 5% or so, putting my stop loss in about 8.6 cents. That keeps us above this red descending level. Again, we're getting those over flashes on 4-hour and the 1-hour. So I'm kind of holding to those, saying I do believe we're moving to the downside. But again, if you're already in a long, maybe people like Piper are saying, hey, I don't care if we retrace back to 7.6 cents. After that, I'm looking for a push through of that red line. That's up to you guys. But guys, that is what I'm seeing here on Dogecoin. Back to Brocam here. T-Shroom. What did Piper say? Piper said, I'm staying in. I'm 3x inverse contract of Doge with only 10% of my account. Plenty of dry powder to buy low. Yeah, so just so you guys know, when Piper's strategy, he started it way back lower. So he's okay with some short pullbacks. He just adds to the position. Great strategy for longer term trading. But if we're just making some trades for the next little bit, wanting to set you guys up, shorts are probably no, never enter an equal risk trade, 2-to-1 minimum. Yep, that's your opinion, Piper. This is a risk I'm willing to take just because I think that if we make a push back up, that you could still go that high and be okay in your trade. But it is solid advice to not do that. There's times if you want to, you can. That's a different trader or trader. I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see me do a trade like that. But there are times that I still will, especially when we're talking about gains that minimal. That's part of also, like, if I'm going for a trade upwards of 20 to 30%, yeah, I'm not making my risk 20 to 30%. At most, I'm making it 15. But that one, you're going to see me more like, if I'm going for a 30% trade, my risk is probably still only a 10% of a loss. But shorter ones like that 5.88, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make much money. I'm also not going to lose much money if I lose out on it. Let's keep moving on here. What else are we seeing in chat? Piper always bringing the knowledge still, even from the chat. Check PACW stock, possible insolvent bank. That would be one for you, T-Shroom. PACW, I'm not even sure what that one is.
I've got it pulled up on my screen. It's PacWest, and there are headlines showing that it's looking like it's going to be combined with Bank of California. PacWest stock rockets 40% after Bank of California confirms. But if you're a holder of PacWest, which I hope you're not, that's not necessarily an optimistic thing because, as you can see here, it was also down today 28%. So it only retraced to the upside that loss. That's all that really happened, just basically no change on the day in after-hours trading. But that's serious concern. And here is an actual interesting topic of discussion is like, you have some major liquidity risk, some major structural risk going on in the banking sector, yet again, a day before the big decision at the Federal Reserve. Could it be enough to sway Mr. Jerome Powell into potentially pausing another month?
There's a part of me that is feeling that way to you, Shroom, especially after how negative he has been. And despite the fact that we haven't seen crazy numbers, like something he mentions, he always mentions the unemployment rate. We're not seeing unemployment skyrocket by any means, but we are seeing not the stock market, but the crypto world definitely fall. We definitely fell coming into this week. I think I'm going to save. Sorry, I had a little bit of with this LaCroix, I had a little bit of a gas bubble. I'm going to save my official prediction for tomorrow morning on what I feel, because it doesn't matter about the number. We're going to get 25 basis point rate hike. That's happening. tomorrow, you and I are going to talk and give our predictions about whether Jerome's going to be dovish or hawkish. But I will make the case that he could be dovish on account of he's been so hawkish recently. He's had kind of a feeling of coming in with some big surprises here in these meetings. Potentially, do we see Jerome Powell change his tune, get a little dovish? Do we see at least a short pump in the markets? We're going to have to wait and see. Again, that's not my official prediction. I can also make a case that he's hawkish, but that's the one that probably makes most sense. So I'm trying to give him devil's advocate here, saying there's a chance he comes in dovish. We'll make our predictions tomorrow morning. So interesting thought there, T-shirt.
So you think there's zero chance he does a pause?
Oh, zero. I mean, there's a non-zero chance that he pauses.
Mm-hmm. So now
it's technically possible, but it would take a clone of Jerome Powell, I think, at this point to come out and not. No, I'm just kidding. He's just not going to. I mean, right now, if we were to look at it, let me go over here to CME Futures tool. Let me refresh my page, guys. Currently, we are sitting here at 98.3%. He's going to raise 25 points. It's a 1.7. He raises 50 at this point. So at this point, just T-shirt. The CME Futures group is predicting a 0% chance. That's not really how that works. There's always a chance. It's just probably you're going to get a greater chance of finding out that Biden is impeached tomorrow morning or that Donald Trump is actually a woman. That probably might have a better chance than a pause at this. That's extreme, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
You know exactly what I'm saying.
The other big news on the stock side while we're on it is Google's earnings. And you can take a look over here. You can see, I don't have their earnings pulled up. I could, but their stock price here. Take a look at this, guys. So the blue line here is the post close. So this is the trading in after hours, not where this candlestick has closed. So right now, Google trading at $130 per share. This is Alphabet Class C. And it was closed in the market in the New York session at $122. So it closed, and then the earnings dropped, and it shot up to $130. It beat earnings on every single vertical of analysis that it was being tested on, at least according to the Zero Hedge tweet that I was reading. Let me see if I can find that bad boy for you guys. I'm sure it's here somewhere in all of the fun that has been posted on Zero Hedge since then. Here it is. So Alphabet revenue estimate 72.7, actual 74.6, beat. X-Tax estimate 60.27, actual 62.07, beat. Cloud revenue estimate 7.83, actual 8.03, big beat. And then operating income estimate 19.96, actual 21.84, another big beat. So big numbers coming from Alphabet. And then Microsoft also had pretty good numbers as well. However, they're if you pull up their chart, they're actually down a decent amount there in after-hours trading. More than likely, something was said in the earnings call that they kind of spooked traders. I won't say it's down too much, but it is down 4% now, coming to the bottom of that range. So if you saw a candle, it'd be a big red candle right here, all the way down to where it is trading in after hours, 335. Now that could change. You know, after hours trading is crazy, especially on earnings and huge mega cap names. I mean, Microsoft is in the top 3 largest corporations in the world. So you know, there's a lot of movement to move. There's a lot of trading to move Microsoft that much in a matter of minutes. But you know, so there could be definitely some more liquidity swoop in. But if you zoom out on the 1 month, you can see that Microsoft still extremely strong recovery from the rate slam that brought down the entire market, and it has recovered very nicely, even realizing all-time highs up to $366 per share. So that's kind of the big news on the stock side. I'll scan and see if I can find anything else, but I'm sure there are some tickers that folks are wanting back on the coin side.
Yeah, we haven't had necessarily tickers. We want to say what's up to Mike Vollmer, saying hi, Tim. Magic Internet Money is in chat here saying got to take the lows. He says 28,454 and 50 cents. He's talking about Bitcoin, and how about that? Mim is in chat giving us the call down to the cent. So he must have very specific. When I'm looking at Bitcoin, you can go and share my screen here. One of the things that I am looking, we've had this T box now ever since we broke this other T. We call them T boxes, by the way, Mim. We broke this long-term support level. That was our sideways trading channel. Got really boring. After we broke that, we then drew this level down here. I do think that there's a chance we go as low as 28.1 here before the end of August. Higher 28.6. You're of course talking right there in the middle, and I might not get it perfectly exactly how you do it, but one of the things kind of calling for that same level that Mim is talking about there, guys. That's Magic Internet Money, by the way. The 0.5 on Fibonacci coming in right here, a little bit below that. Going from the bottom here on June 15th all the way up to that top here on July 13th. Fibonacci coming in close. It's a little lower than what Mim's talking about, so he probably got some other things. Are you looking, Mim, right there? Are you looking? We might be also on different exchanges, but that's 28,473 and 93 cents. If we're going to talk specific cents now, Mim, but you might be on a different exchange. I'm sitting here on Coinbase at the moment. Either way, guys, that's I almost wonder, and you know, I'm interested, man. We have to get you on the show here soon. Our guests are
absolutely
booked out for a little bit here, but I definitely want to get you back on. You guys can see right now, look at where we're finding some support here on the daily, where the candle closed yesterday, and we're green right now, right at that 0.382. Again, not going to be surprised if we're somewhat dovish here, and there's actually a little bit of a bounce, a rally back up to former support levels, if not now turning into resistance around 29.7, maybe gets as high as 29.850 or so. But then something else happens. We're suppressed here. Again, I'm kind of watching this rising blue line. I know, Mim, you're not necessarily, you like more horizontal stuff. Your technical analysis does a lot more with horizontal stuff, but rising support levels since back here in January of this year. We've now had 3 touches. We're looking potentially at that fourth, that higher low coming in. That's something I'm keeping my eyes on here on Bitcoin. But we'll get back to that. Let's go back to BroCam here. Shout out to Mim. Make sure you guys are following him. One of the best technical analysts I know. Also a king of taking emotions out of trading for certain.
For sure.
Let's see. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else, but yeah, let's get some other tickers in chat. What time do we got? We still have about 20 minutes left, guys, before we're going to call it out. Army Piper with the super chat saying, woot, woot, bought some Goog pre-market today.
Yeah.
And that is 4 exclamation marks. So you know he probably was a big investment too. We all know that Piper here the next probably 6 to 12 months is buying an 18-room mansion that we're all going to go live in. So you got to sign up. There's a waiting list. Get on it. Magic Money said, I'm only using that level for SFP, but okay. You are finding support at the quarter 3 pivot as well. Yep, okay. That's another thing. I'd love to get more of his analysis on there. He loves the pivots. Tim, price predictions for ADA and GRT next bull run. Well, Kevin, if I don't get any other tickers, because we do give priority to the members with the green badges, but if we have no members giving predictions, we could take a look at what with the 2 he said ADA. I know what my ADA prediction is. GRT is
the graph,
man.
I think.
Is it graph? That's not graph, is it?
I think so.
Is that graph? Man, it's been a minute since I did graph TA, wasn't it? Yeah, it is the graph. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll give it here just a second, then we'll go in and do those predictions. Mike Volmer, let's see. Piper says Mim can come too. All right, there we go. Yeah. Mike Volmer says got back into XRP, sold high, bought low. Mike, you are a wise man and a scholar. XRP for sure. I told you guys, and we're holding up what I said needed to happen for some security right now. Let's go back to XRP. Let's go to my chart, T-Shroom. Again, key level right here at the point. This is my 0.382. Again, I'm loving that on the daily chart. Yesterday, guys, we did get back above that 69-cent level, 69.8-cent level that we discussed here. Love to see it. We did close some candles below it on the 4-hour chart, so you know, we're still for sure in the danger zone. And what's happening tomorrow absolutely could drop us a little bit lower. But I'm liking what I'm seeing on the daily chart. One way or another, I will say this. I don't know if I'm entering a trade at the moment along on XRP. One of the reasons why, let's still pull this up here. We are still coming down here on the daily chart. But we're not necessarily showing any type of strong support resistance here other than that 69 cents. I want to see a confirmation of a trend movement before I enter there. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. I bet you actually we're going to get here a little bit low. there's an argument to be made maybe for a long here, but nothing. I don't trust the upside of this. Maybe at most we're coming back up here. We've been setting some lower, not a lot of movement here. It's going to be more clear on the 1 hour chart. Still setting lower highs here. I guess we did break this trend here a little bit. As I'm looking on the shorter timeline, we did break a trend. So yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe a long is in order. We're not overextended just yet on the hourly. Would have been a lot nicer, of course, to come down here and catch this one out at 68 cents. You wouldn't have known though, so maybe still an entry on 69 cents. 69.7 cents or so at that level would have been nice right there. 4 hour chart definitely showing you could move to the upside. Daily chart, I guess we're getting closer to these mid levels on oscillators. Let's take a look if there's anything else happening here. Nothing with multi-time frame. Nothing with those higher indicators there. Nothing on the 4 hour. Are we close on the 1 hour? We are sitting right beneath our trend assistant. We do need to break through that. So this is one of those things like maybe you're looking for, if we can turn this trend assistant green, now I'm entering a short long on XRP. But again, just everything, the volatility that's going to come in tomorrow morning, the chaos there could be maddening. I'm kind of, I don't even know what I want to say here. I kind of think we're going to be able to hold here, at least for tomorrow morning until the actual announcement, and stay above 69 cents. So maybe because we're so close to it, maybe you risk that, you take a long, maybe put your stop loss. I mean, I just don't like it. I don't like what we're seeing here, because I probably would have to put my stop loss below this wick right here at about that low 67.4 cents. You got to go lower than that, probably closer to 67 cents even, give or take. And then your long position, you go too much to the upside. Let's take a look here using a long. Even if I were to enter right here, right now, 5%, I'm not confident in a pullback up to that level. I guess that is right there around the trend assistant. I'd have to risk right here in this range. I'd have to risk 5%. Again, I'm not trading any of these guys, so do this what you will, but that's another, you'd have to trade a 1-to-1 ratio. I do not like what I'm seeing here with XRP. You guys know that I'm still a fan of the concept. We had a very emotional week after the SEC lawsuit came to an end. And I don't know, if we're done with the manipulation that can happen there. That's what traders love to do. Speaking of Mim in chat, Mim is one of those people who takes advantage of weak emotional traders and he steals their money. So go yell at him. I never steal money from anyone. I just try to make money, but Mim will steal your money if you're emotional and you're trading XRP. Let's go back to the charts here. Bro time here, T-Shroom. Check in on chat. Anything interesting while I was doing some T-Shroom said, what about Pepe? Is Pepe? I don't even know if Pepe is worth charting, man. It's a meme coin. Meme coins, you guys know, are hard to chart. Mem says, love you guys. Investing with great energy and info across all the markets. Thank you so much, Mem. We love you too. Let's see what else do we have. Oh, so Eric Wallen asked this earlier. I'm going to be very brief. He asked, how is Beamer doing? You guys know Beamer is my dog. I think this weekend you guys might see, maybe our members will see a Beamer video. He's not been trading recently, not even trying to escape the yard. The backstory on Beamer, every time he escapes our yard, Bitcoin crashes. He did not escape right back here a couple of days ago, so that was an outlier. We did just reinforce the fence, though, and have the guy fix it. So maybe we're going to have to find a new way for Beamer to express his trade entries. He's doing swell, though. He's doing very awesome. He's still fat and happy. Yeah, he loves Brody. Him and Brody are going to be best of friends. And yeah, well, you know what, Eric? Beamer will make an appearance in members' videos behind the scenes this week. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. Let's see here. T-Shirt and Tim getting hyped for football season, sending love from Brazil. Absolutely, Fogo. Now, are you talking about American football or soccer? Either way, I like both of them. How about that Messi? Did you see the Messi goal the other night, T-Shirt?
I did.
Pretty epic. I love Messi.
It was.
I respect Ronaldo, but I do think Messi was the better of the two during this generation. But I'm very excited for American football. We'll save that for a different video. Let's see what else do we have. Yeah, Mike. Okay, so Mike, if you got in at 69 cents with XRP, great move, my friend. At the end of the day, here's the other thing. I said this earlier during our live show this morning. Someone asked, how do you know when to enter a trade? Oh, we got some back. We're good. Someone asked this morning how, where you enter a trade. Here's the thing. I highly recommend having two different portfolios, your trading portfolio and your HODL portfolio. you hodl at good levels. Like for me, XRP 69 cents is a good level. Next one up for me is 55 cents, 57 cents, that range right there. I think I said the other day, I'm going to go 57 cents risk going a little bit higher here. But those are good levels on a buy. I'm not going to enter trades at those levels. I'm going to wait for a confirmation of a long or a short. I'm going to wait for a confirmation of a trend, and then I'm going to jump in on that trend and take a minimal trade. But I might even use some leverage to get that a little bit higher. That's one of the ways you can make more profit. It is riskier, so you got to be careful. You got to be on top of your charts. But that is a great advice for anybody. Trade trends, buy good prices. There we go. Let's see. We need some more ticker symbols here, guys. We got about 15 minutes, 14 minutes to be exact, before we're going to go ahead and call it a night. But what do you guys have for us? Oh, we did get Mr. J said, what about 88 and graph for next bull run? There we go. Okay. So even though it was originally talked about from someone else, you got backed up by a green name. That's something you guys do. Even though we take the suggestions from green names, but if you make a good suggestion and a green name picks it up, you're in luck. Let's take a look at what we're seeing here for ADA this evening. Or I guess the question here, this really isn't the show for ADA predictions, but since you asked so nicely, let's take a look. We're actually probably going to be discussing Cardano in more detail tomorrow on the BitBoy Live show. We're doing some planning for that. So you heard it here first. You're getting some background information on the show.
Very nice.
I got to get rid of this to get rid of it. Okay. So as it stands right now, if you were to buy Bitcoin right now and sell at a realistic predictive top, we're looking at around a 24 to 25% or 24x gain. That's good. That is very good. Guys, I think that we might see Cardano from the bottom 40x. The only problem is I don't think the bottom is what we currently are looking at. A 40x bottom from what currently is the bottom, and you know, it would be awesome if we had it. Actually, I scrolled the wrong way. Let's take here. Let's go a 40x. We're looking at a 4,000% gain here. Okay, thank you. Getting secret messages from the troops. Let's go all the way up, all the way. We gotta keep on going. Ooh, this is very nice. Very nice. Let's go. You know what? We're getting high. I'm going to come back down. I'm going to come back down to $8. I have said that I believe that Cardano in this next market could go anywhere between $7 to $10. There's even an outside chance that I don't think is likely, but there's an outside chance we push closer towards the 12 to 15 range. But realistically, you're probably looking between 6 to 10, and then even more specifically 7 to 9 or so. I'm going to go ahead and call it right there in the middle, and you're looking at 8. From current bottom, if anyone was lucky enough to pick up some Cardano at that exact bottom here when we wicked just a couple of weeks ago right here. Let's see what the exact price was. I have to scroll out. Scroll. Right here. The bottom low was 21.6 cents on Cardano. You'd be looking at a nice, what did I say, 34x on your money. Great action right there, guys. I think it's going to be a little closer to 40, maybe even a little higher. And the reason why is because I think we're coming down to 18 cents. I think there's an outside chance we go down all the way to 14 cents, but I do think we're coming down towards that 18-cent margin. But guess what, guys? That doesn't change the fact that I do think we're going to get up pushing closer to that $7, $8 Cardano price, in which case we're now looking at a 41, almost 42x if you are buying a lot of Cardano down here at 18-cent level. Guys, even though we had a nice dodge of a scare today with UPS and Teamsters coming to agreement, that could have been pretty rough for the crypto space. I still believe there's manipulative powers out there that Ben Cohen recently has come out believing that if you were to look at Cardano, you guys know we've tracked Bitcoin back to 2019. Well, let's take a look at what Cardano is doing back in 2019. Look here in 2018, December, when we're setting lows in the crypto space, it comes down and touches all the way down here towards 2 cents, almost 3 cents. Makes this little pre-bull market rally, and then it falls and sets an even lower low. This, of course, was during the pandemic, but you get my point. We came even lower, came down below 2 cents towards 1.8 cents. Well, Ben Cohen is saying, are we going to do the exact same thing where we are still looking for Bitcoin potentially coming down to 25, 20? That's not a new low for Bitcoin. I don't think we'll see a new low on Bitcoin. I don't think we'll see a new low on Ethereum. There's a couple coins you don't see a new low on, but Cardano, there's a bullish and bearish case here, guys. Bearish, we're oversold, but we're low. Cardano has not picked up the same steam, the same traction that other altcoins have during this very boring mid market. We're out of, I think we're kind of out of a bear market, even if we set a new low, but we're not in a bull market just yet. I think Cardano has been kind of, to be honest with you guys, underwhelming, which means it's oversold. And oversold means it has a greater possibility than other coins of setting a new low down here towards 18 cents. But that just means it also potentially has a good shot of exploding in the bull market and having greater gains. So if you have the patience to stay in and ride with Charles Hoskinson and Cardano, and you take advantage of an 18 cent, 20 cent Cardano, you could make some good money in this next bull market. But that's my prediction, guys. I'm predicting we get up towards $8, but I'm also predicting we will probably see 18 cents here in the near future on Cardano. Don't be mad at me. Let's go look at Graph. I don't really, again, I've definitely done Graph TA before, not a whole lot of it. All right, so let's even compare this. Graph is one, I don't know if we're going to set a new bottom. Why? Because we are actually pretty significantly above. If I go away from this, let me show you guys, for example. The bottom here was back on November of 2022. Since that price, even right as we are speaking, we are up, boom, 112%. It's had some good bullish movement. Yes, we've been trending down. Yes, we've been setting lower highs, lower lows. But this is a coin that actually has been taking advantage of some good movements. I think even with suppression that comes in and as it gets cut back, we're more realistically looking for some price action back down here towards where you can see some pretty noticeable support, a little bit lower than the wick we had, just like Cardano's, but looking around 8 cent region, not coming back down to 5 cents like we hit the low. I think realistically, you're looking at a price somewhere down here on 8 cents. That is still a fall here on the graph of roughly 23, 24% still. When you go over here and look at Cardano, where are we from the bottom of Cardano? Well, it really depends on which one you call the bottom, but we'll even say right here where we wicked down towards 21 cents. We're only up 40% from that bottom. And realistically, if you really want to go back to what the rest of the space really uses as a bottom, we're only up 26% from that on this bottom price that we had back in January of 2023. Again, I think that means it has a more explosive bull run, but I'm not seeing the same odds that Graph sets a new low. In fact, actually, let's even take a look at that real quick. Even from right now, let's say they both go 23, 24% down. That would put Cardano back down here around 22 cents. And again, I'm thinking we go down towards 18. Let's see what that would be. Let's just pretend, even though we know they're not going to trade exactly the same. I'm predicting, I guess, at this point, a 38% drop still on Cardano. There's lots of reasons when you go back to Cardano's past while I'm predicting 18 cents. But let's say the graph kind of matches that tit for tat. 38% GRT, USD, boom, 38%. That would give Graph a price prediction down here towards, all right, so there's another significant level here. Yeah, maybe we come down all the way to 6 cents, 6.8 cents here, back towards some of these levels. More realistically, probably you're looking at that top right there around 7.5 cents. But you guys can see right here, that is not a new low the way the graph has it. Now, as far as a price prediction to the upside, I will admit that the graph is not one that I have as much history studying the past as I do with Cardano. And this is one you're probably going to take a greater look at the tokenomics to try to play out what it could do. Let me see a couple things. Here's a bad sign, I will say. I don't love that it did not set a new high in November of 2021. That high is actually all the way back in February of 21, which means it took a lot of momentum there in the early bull market of 2021, but couldn't gain a lot of momentum here again. That's not the great sign, but I'm not going to profess to know everything about what they're building. I think realistically a safer one, because I don't trust Graph as much as I trade some others. I might take an interesting look at potentially, let me try to change this up. Let's just say we get down to that level, the lower level, just like Cardano, and we come down somewhere around this spot right here, 7.5 cents. Now I got to back it up. I want to just see if we were to rematch these highs that we had back in November of 21. That right there would be a 16x. If we were to go back and double top setting a remake of our previous all-time high, we are looking at a 37x. Guys, I don't think we're going to see the graph outpace Cardano. That's not something that I'm really expecting. It could happen again because I'm not sitting here looking at tokenomics and then trying to make an estimation on what the market cap's going to be. I'm just looking at the charts, and the charts, that's not a powerful coin, so they're going to need some help. More realistically, I'm going to put them somewhere in the range. I think we beat November, but I think we struggle to get to new highs. I think a realistic target for me, if the graph gets to $2.17, that's a 27x from a potential bottom. I think you did well. Again, that's not the strongest price prediction. I do think like AJ is going to probably make a prediction soon. One of the cool things about the way AJ makes predictions is he does take into account tokenomics. He has more information about VCs that are interested. He takes into account some companies that they've partnered with. But from just a right now look at this, this is not a coin that is a safe new all-time high coin, but absolutely could still have a decent bull market of a 27x, get back up to some levels and prices we had back in April of 2021. I'm going to go with a very safe prediction there for the graph. That's going to be the top. That was a lot there. Let's go back to Bro Cam here. Did that let me know in chat? Do you guys understand my reason, my logic as to why that's my prediction? If not, I can try to go into deeper understanding that, but that's kind of my thought there.
I think it made sense.
Kevin B says $8 my 88 too. That's a pretty safe $8. I'm going with $8 as like a safe one, guys. I think that XRP will be the biggest gainer in this next bull market, but I'm not going to be surprised if Cardano is hanging right behind it. And for that reason, I think we could easily see XRP be between $10 to $12. We could see Cardano be closer to that 8 to 10, 9 to 10 range. Do not be surprised if you see XRP at that $12 level. Cardano sitting around $9.50, $10, and XRP just barely had a better rally, but Cardano's right behind it. That's kind of my expectation at this point. Mr. J, my Lord and Savior, Charles Hodgson.
So there's some pretty juicy.
You're gonna let down if he's your Lord and Savior.
Pretty good questions. Fogo asked Cardano or Chainlink. That's not one
Cardano or Chainlink.
That's not one you think of very much, but honestly, if it's like a long-term I mean, that's a tough one. I'd say that Chainlink has definitely kind of curried the favor of the market a lot more. It's done a lot more to kind of become very popular, but Cardano, I think, probably has more potential for the upside just because it has not even begun to realize its full potential. Whereas Chainlink is kind of already dominant and maybe capped out, not necessarily in price, but in just like operations. Sorry, my dog just went into a weird spot. He usually doesn't go into. All right, yeah, but Tim, I want to hear your thoughts briefly, and then we've got a very unique request from Luigi.
We're going to have to do one of them because it is already 6:43, and I did tell the wife that I would be leaving here at 6:45. Okay. What do you want to do? Do you want to do Luigi? Or do you want to jump into Chainlink?
Luigi's is pretty quick.
What did Luigi say?
Luigi said, well, I'll just do it. He said,
all right,
yeah. You screwed it up, Tim.
We will. I know. I'm sorry. We will talk more Chainlink later on in the show this week.
Sorry, Luigi.
But we'll do Luigi's for now.
Well, Luigi's request was just for me to say, "Oh yeah." Huh. So I think you got your wish there. And then Dish was something I've got pulled up really quickly. You know, I've been looking at this, and I'm not sure. It's in the discount zone, which is nice here. But if you take a look, it's been under a sell rating from Charts Prime for quite a while. Maybe it's time for that to turn around. I mean, it's in the discount zone, which is promising. This is Dish Network, the people that put dishes on your house and stuff like that. So one time, OC from Chart Prime, he was doing a little bit of TA, and he showed that if there's ever a big block like this on the RSI or any like oscillator, a big empty block, and it starts to tip into that block that's been empty for a long time, you can look for big moves from there. So that's what I would be watching. If you're thinking about entering into Dish, I would watch for this to cross the zero line on this RSI, on this oscillator, and that's where I would make my move. But right now, it's You might want to go ahead if you have some kind of not insider information, but like if you have some kind of fundamental reason for getting into this, I would go ahead and DCA in now, meaning like start to build your position. Don't put everything in now, but start to build that. Once this crosses the 0 line, I might be taking a little bit bigger of a position.
I'm going to answer the Chainlink question real quick, and we're going to close it out here, T-Shroom. Guys, I don't think Chainlink is going to be able to beat Cardano.
No.
Let's just think about this. Remember, we talked about probably a realistic, if we go down to 18 cents, we're looking at a 40x on Cardano. So you have to go back and look at the 88TA for that. Take a look at my screen here very, very quick. I am projecting, let's just say we get a drop in Link all the way down back to the support level we have down here towards $5.71. I don't know why I said 5.7 because you guys, you see how high we are. So let's just say we got to pull back here. What's that percentage drop, by the way? 23%. Well, you know what? Let's even stretch it a little bit. Let's say we get to the 30%, the bottom of this range. I'll have to adjust this just barely, but let's say we do get a Chainlink suppression down to about $5.26. Now I got to scroll out and I got to find what would we need for a 40x. For a 40x on Chainlink, if we got that low, we are looking at a $219 Chainlink. Guys, previous all-time high for Chainlink is only $54. Is it possible? Maybe, I guess. I just don't see that happening necessarily. I have to do more math here, but what that would mean for a market cap as well, that's just monstrously very different than what we've seen in the past. Cardano, we're talking about doubling, maybe a little bit more than 2xing its previous all-time high. Here for Chainlink, what you're asking is to go back to its all-time high back in May of 21, not November, May of 21. So this is a project that also didn't get the same momentum. I like Link, by the way. Don't hate on me again. Yeah, someone in chat said Tim, the most hated man on charts, according to Tim. Well, it seems like that sometimes. People hate on me a lot. It makes me cry. We're talking about it needs to 4x, give or take, from a previous all-time high. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't see that happening for Chainlink. It is a coin in my portfolio. I'm just not putting it up there with what I would call the big dogs that are going to have big bull markets like Cardano, like XRP, like I think Matic could also be one of the ones that has a big one. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on BNB either. I think especially if they escape the clutches of the SEC.
Which it looks like they're starting to. It was very underreported today, guys. Yeah. It was underreported. We didn't even cover it, but there was a ton of news. Binance is kind of on the comeback. We'll see how that goes, though.
Yeah. Guys, that is all we have for you in tonight's Tactical Trades. Thank you so much for coming out here and supporting. We have 24 likes. I saw 40 concurrent at one point. Make sure on your way out you smash that like button. If you just found us, thank you so much for choosing the Investing Bros. We have a morning live show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We cover news. We cover TA. We kind of break down what's happening in the markets to help you better understand how to think for yourself and make wise investment decisions. Make sure you guys come in and join us every single weekday morning for that. With that said, though, guys, we will see you tomorrow morning. It's Fed Day. Woo woo! What's going to happen? We'll have to see. Have a good night.